Hello, everybody. I just wanted to pop in and say, first of all, I hope you're having a wonderful virtual day at home, getting all of your stuff done, doing your best on all your assignments. I wanted to come in and show you a little bit just about how these worksheets should work, maybe give you a couple tips that'll help you out. So let's get started. First of all, let's read the directions, the most important part of starting any assignment. Up here, you can see it says, write in the solfege. Remember, you can double check every single note by starting somewhere you know and then working your way up or down the staff by lines and spaces. Watch the Writing in Solfege video for help. That's this one. So, the first thing I want you to do when you're doing a worksheet like this, when you're doing one of these solfege writing in worksheets, which we will do many of them, okay, is I want you to come up here to this little toolbar. You see we have all of these options, and there's a magnifying glass. Now do not click on this magnifying glass. If you click and you see that that's yellow, I want you to unclick that and make sure it stays gray. Okay, you have potential to get kind of messed up if you do that. I want you to click on the down arrow next to it, and this should pop up. And I find that if you click on 100%, I think that's pretty much perfect to be able to see all the individual lines and spaces. Now, let's talk about doing the actual worksheet, okay? You can see the worksheet has given us the first 4 solfege syllables already there for us, right? So we have a good place to start. We know that on this imaginary line below the staff, we have do. Okay, and that's where do is going to be always. We know that right below the staff, not quite touching that top, or not quite on that top line, but touching that bottom line is re. Right on that bottom line is me. And then you can see we skip up to the second line, and that's where so is going to be. Now, when I say that I want you to start somewhere you know and work your way up or down the staff by lines and spaces, this is what I mean. I'm going to zoom in even extra, so get ready for this big zoom. Boom. I'm going to zoom in even more just so you can really see what I'm talking about, okay? If this is so on this line, on the second line right here, okay? And we go down, you see this next note here, our first note is down one step. It's on the space right below it. If we go through our solfege, which if I were you, this is what I would do. I would just go to Google. I would Google solfege scale. Okay? And actually I would do solfege scale hand signs is what I would Google. And then you can click on things like this and pull up exactly what we're talking about, okay? And you can have that on another tab and you can just go back and forth and help yourself, okay? So we know we're looking for this note right below so. So I can go over to my hand signs and see, okay, what's right below so? Right here we have fa, okay? And we also see that fa is right in between me, right? Or excuse me, right in between me and so. So let's go back. We see that me is on this bottom line. So that means me would be right here. We'd see that so is on the second line, which would be right here. Which means right here in this space in between should be fa. So we're going to double click. We're going to type in fa and that's done. Okay. Now, this next note, if you look at this, you can see that it's on the second line, okay? So we have a couple ways we can go about figuring this out. We can look at what we last typed, which was fa, okay? And we can see, oh, we are going up one space up here, up to the second line, okay? So we move from fa up 1 to that line. We can go over, we can find fa and move up 1 and we see that's so. Again though, we can look back at things that we have already typed and double check ourselves. So we think that this might be so. We have so earlier on in this example area, so we can go back and double check. We're looking for a note that's on the second line and we're going to double check and see if it's so. We go back here, second line, it's so. And remember, we don't have to do that L. We can just type so. Okay? Then we move on. We have so, it's here on the second line. We hop up one space to the second space here. We come over here, so up one is la. So we're going to come here and we're going to type la. All right, we see from la, we move up again, one space, up here to the third line. So we're from la up one, come over here, la up one is T. Remember, double click until that flashing line pops up, and that's how you know that you're typing, okay? And then I always, just to make sure, after I've typed what I want to type, after I double click and type, I typically just do a click out here into the white area to make sure I'm not in that box anymore. Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit tricky. On this bottom line, we don't have anything to compare, right? We don't have any notes next to this one to help us. So we really have to start at a place that we know. All right, so for example, back here, we were on T on the third line. This is pretty close to the third line, so this would be a good, T would be a good starting point for us. So we look and we see third line is T. So right here, 1, 2, 3, third line, we know right here is going to be T. Now this note is one up from that third line, right? Here is T, we move up to here to this space, and that's where this note is. So we're going to go over here, we're going to say T, move up one is our high do. We double click until our flashing line pops up, we type do, and we click into the white next to it just to make sure we're not selecting it anymore, and we're good. Now here's where it gets a little bit trickier. Here you can see we are not moving just up or down one anymore. We've moved down a couple more, right? We've moved down 2 spaces technically. So you could do that. You could go that route by saying, okay, we're here, we move 1, 2 to here. You could go here, say, okay, we're on do, move 1, 2, and see that it's la, okay? Or if you have really done a good job memorizing the solfege scale, you could say, okay, do is here, this line is T, this is la, right? If you just have that memorized, you can say do, T, la. Remember, double click until that line pops up, la, and click on the white to make sure we don't have it selected anymore. Same thing here. We see that this is la. If we know the solfege scale, we can say, okay, this is la. This is going to be moving down the scale. La, so, fa. Or if you're not super comfortable with the solfege scale yet, you will get more and more comfortable with it as we go. Okay, la, so, fa. Or you can say, okay, we start here, we move down 1, 2. Hop over to your tab that has your solfege. We're starting on la. So la, 1, 2 is, remember, so you see I just double clicked, but I kind of messed up. So I'm going to double click again until that line pops up. Now I'm ready to type fa, and I'm going to click once outside to make sure it's not selected anymore. Okay. Now, as always, if you have any questions at all today, since we are all virtual today, if you have any questions and you're really having a hard time with it, what you can do is you can send me a message and I'll see if I can help you just on messages on Schoology. But if we're not able to figure out via just the messages on Schoology, then maybe we could do a little Zoom meeting or a Schoology conference or something like that. And I can really help you out through there if we need to, okay? Just let me know what you need. You guys know I'm always here for you for whatever you need. Just let me know, okay? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day at home. Stay home. Do your best on all of your assignments. Let your teachers know if you need help. We love you very much. I love you very much. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys soon. Love you guys. Bye.